Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a third trimester Q&A because I am already 38 weeks and 1 day, so really nearing towards the end. People have been asking me a lot of questions about how I've been feeling, what my plans are coming up, obviously with labor and delivery, so I wanted to address all of those questions in today's video. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Nicole. I make videos sharing my faith, family, and lifestyle. If you enjoyed today's content, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're always notified when I put out a new video. Also, a thumbs up goes a very long way, so I always appreciate those. So yes, as I mentioned, I'm currently 38 weeks and 1 day. My belly is huge. I'll show you a little belly shot. It is really stretching. My stretch marks are just spreading along because my belly can only handle so much weight. So let's just jump into these questions. I'm gonna start with the first one, which is how are you physically feeling in third trimester compared to your first pregnancy? A lot of my pregnancy has been very similar to my first pregnancy, which was with my son Jace, even though this time it is a girl, but the third trimester has definitely been a lot harder physically. I think it's because I am also taking care of a toddler every single day, whereas before I was just taking care of myself. And so even like having to lift up Jace, and please don't tell me you shouldn't lift your son, because my friend Paige posted about this the other day. Who's supposed to put him in the car seat? Who's supposed to put him in the crib? Like, obviously there are moments where I have to pick him up. I feel a lot more pain in my back, my hips especially, and my lower pelvic region. Like there just feels like so much weight and so much pressure down here. And I feel like all these physical challenges and the pain actually makes me a lot more irritable in third trimester. Like I have been getting a lot more irritated with different things and with Richie, and kind of snappy. I'm getting a little snappy. I don't remember being like that last time. So I'm doing my best. Are you worried about postpartum anxiety or depression? So I did not have postpartum depression with Jace after he was born. However, with baby girl's pregnancy, I did have some depression during my first trimester. I think that was also due to the winter and winter blues all kind of combined into one. So all that to say, it does make me a little bit worried, but I am trying to remain as positive as possible and really think through how can I remain as physically and mentally healthy, because I do believe those go hand in hand. So I'm sort of preparing in advance this time of like what I'm going to do, at least the things I can control as much as possible. You know, a lot of PPD is hormonal, but there are things you can do to kind of help. So it'll be good because I plan on continuing my counseling sessions, because I'll just be having my second kid and just dealing with a lot of new changes with that. And today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp, which is the counseling providers that we've actually been using, both Richie and I, since last year, so 2020. I truly believe that counseling is a fantastic tool to help you get to the place you want to be, both emotionally and mentally, especially to any of my fellow mamas out there. I talk about mental health a lot because mental health issues run in my family. I really need to take extra steps and precautions to basically take care of myself and be really proactive in this area. So let me explain exactly how BetterHelp works. You basically go online and you take this assessment, and then they will match you with your own licensed professional therapist. So once you're matched, you can actually start communicating already within 48 hours. Please remember, this is not a crisis line. This is not self-help. This is professional therapy done securely online. There's a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's over 20,000 therapist network, which may not be locally available in many areas, and their services are available worldwide. You can log into your account whenever you want and send a message to your therapist. You also can schedule out phone calls or video chats. You don't have to wait in a waiting room like you do with traditional therapy. They're really focused on creating great therapeutic matches. So if you desire to change your therapist or something's not working out, that is available to you as well. Also, BetterHelp is more affordable than traditional offline therapy, and they offer financial aid. So for my viewers out there, you can get 10% off of your first month. Visit betterhelp.com/Nicole and Richie. That's better, HELP, and join the over 1 million people currently taking charge and control of their mental health with a professional. Have you had any signs of labor? I haven't really had any major labor signs yet. I have been getting Braxton Hicks for already probably the past 2 months. I mentioned that I had my appointment yesterday with my midwife, so she did check me and she said, well, you're 1 centimeter dilated. Okay, that doesn't really mean much. And 50% effaced, so my cervix is thinning, which is good. So, I mean, at this point, I'm about 2 weeks out from my due date. It's, again, very similar to my pregnancy with Jace. I remember there wasn't like a ton of progress, but you just never know. You never know. It could all of a sudden happen. Which leads to the next question, how are you physically preparing for natural birth? So there are some things I am trying to do so that I don't go into labor super late. I want it to be a spontaneous, natural, start to my labor. And so I do use the birthing ball and do some different exercises on there to kind of get baby into position. I've been taking a lot of walks. I've also been trying to squat as much as possible. I know it sounds weird, but it's really good to do that before labor to just prepare your body. I also have been eating a lot of dates. I know that's just a myth. I don't know if there's really truth to it, but I love dates anyway. So I was like, I'm gonna try this time and just eat a few dates every day. They say that it thins the cervix. Is it true or not? I don't know. It's just kind of a fun one and I love dates. So, also somebody asked, will you be taking castor oil this time to induce labor? If you didn't know, with my first pregnancy, I did end up taking some castor oil the day of my due date. Which it's not safe to take it any sooner than that. And there's actually there's controversy around this, so I'm not telling anyone to go do this. Please do your research. But I don't plan on doing that this time around. The reason why is a little bit, essentially castor oil is a laxative. So it's known for getting contractions going, but it's also gonna get other things going. So that's all I'm gonna say. My plan is to not do that this time. I share way too much with you guys. Okay, the major question, what is your birth plan? So I've shared recently my hospital bag video. It was specific to packing for a natural birth. If you haven't seen it, you can click right up here. But that being said, yes, my desire and hope is to have a natural unmedicated birth. So my plan is still to give birth at a hospital. I do have a team of midwives that I've been seeing all throughout my pregnancy, and considering the state of my health and how everything's going so far, I plan on laboring at home for as long as I can. And once I get to the hospital, hoping that I'm far enough along that I can continue to labor naturally and unmedicated. My hospital also has the option for a tub if I do want to labor in the water, so I might be doing that. I want to be able to move freely around the room as much as I can to help progress the labor along. They also have like a birthing ball available there if I need it, and so I won't be strapped to the bed or to an IV or anything like that. I should be able to just freely labor in the room. You just never know what might happen, so I always try to keep a very balanced mindset and be aware that, the medical professionals might encourage me to move in a different direction if I need to. Yeah, all that to say, you go in with the birth plan and then you trust the Lord. I also had a question of, why do you want to have a natural unmedicated birth? Because to some people this doesn't make any sense and they're like, just go in and take the drugs. Why do you need to do this? And I will say, with my first pregnancy, that is what I did. I actually did very minimal research on birthing naturally, even though I was saying to you guys and to myself, I'm gonna try to have a natural birth. But realistically, I didn't put in the work to understand what that really meant. This time around, I did. And once I did, and I really dug into the medical birthing industry and the history behind it all, and really understanding more about the body and what's truly happening throughout the stages of labor, as well as just what the body is capable of to do naturally, and reading a lot of different testimonials from different women, it really started to change my mindset on what I wanted for my pregnancy, and I started to desire a very different experience than what I had the first time around. And I'm not diminishing my experience the first time around. I think everything went the way it was supposed to, and I'm just glad that obviously we were all healthy, and I enjoyed that epidural while I was on it. Just gonna be honest, right? So like overall it was an amazing experience, and I believe that this is gonna be an amazing experience as well. So that's why I'm going into it with a different mindset, but again, always a flexible mindset, because it's always important to be flexible. What are you most excited about and most worried about in terms of having a girl? So obviously, because my firstborn's a boy, I've only been a boy mom this whole time, and it is very different now that I'm having a girl. I think that what I'm most excited about is actually to see Richie be a girl dad, because I don't know, I feel like I have this really special, unique bond with Jace because he's a boy, you know, being opposite genders. And then I feel like with Richie, he's gonna get that experience too, having a daughter, taking care of his daughter, like just seeing him, how he is with a girl. I'm just excited about that. And then in terms of what I'm most worried about, I think many times we ladies can have challenging relationships with our mothers. It's not always perfect. Obviously, I love my mom, but looking back sometimes I'm like, oh man, like it is challenging, and I'm wondering if I'm gonna experience those challenges raising my daughter. And so that makes me really worried, just thinking through like, what am I gonna be dealing with in her teenage years? Can I be a good mom to a daughter? What is that gonna look like? And I did have actually a lot of fears around this and like worry around this, where I had to bring it to the Lord and pray. And I actually wrote a whole journal entry about my desire of what kind of mom I want to be for my daughter specifically, and the type of relationship that I want to have with her. And I just prayed about it and left it at the feet of Jesus, and I'm trusting that God's going to show me how to raise my daughter. So ever since then, I have a lot more peace about it now, and I believe that God's gonna help me do my best, and we're gonna be okay. What is your weight gain in comparison to your first pregnancy? If you guys watched all my first pregnancy stuff, I barely gained any weight with Jace. It was all just literally Jace. So I think I gained like 15 pounds in total, which is so crazy. Yeah, this time around I've gained more like 22 pounds. So definitely a little bit more. Are you nervous to give birth again? Okay, on the one hand, I feel a lot more prepared going into this birth because I learned so much more about my body and how to breathe and positions and natural birth and etc., all that stuff. So I feel like in that sense, I'm very excited to put to practice what I've been researching about this whole time. On the other hand, I am nervous because you just don't know when it's gonna happen, how it's gonna happen. Like I only have the one experience of going into labor in the middle of the night, you know, you just don't know how it's gonna happen. So I think the nervousness comes in with the unknown factors of like, when is this going down? How is it going down? How fast is it gonna progress? Because people always say your second baby comes a lot quicker than the first. And so I mentioned I want to labor at home as long as possible, but I'm like, well, what if I labor at home too long and then I have this baby in the house? Like that's not my plan. So when I think about it a little too much, yes, I get a bit nervous. We were created to do this. I can do this. The baby's coming out one way or another. And so the best thing that I can do is to remain as calm and relaxed as possible. So that's all my questions for this Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't even know if this is going up before I have the baby or after I have the baby. I'm not really sure what's going on yet. So again, if you want to be more informed on what's happening in real time, jump over to my Instagram at NicoleLegreen so that you know what's happening. Otherwise, I just want to say thank you so much for all your thoughts and prayers and support. So I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video.